What's up?
Hey, man.
Back in the host chair.
Dude, welcome back. Felt like there was nobody more appropriate to do
That's
this.
my line.
Oh.
I'm the host.
Welcome to my own place.
We got this holiday creamy vanilla Coke. It's not good.
No, it's not. No. Nope.
Coca-Cola.
No endorsement on the podcast.
Nope.
Unless Coca-Cola wants to sponsor us.
Still going to drink it. I am not known to turn away food or drink.
Especially zero sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Lonely?
Yeah, I miss you.
I'm just kidding.
It's been a while.
Good to be back.
When
Studio looks great.
What was your last episode? Do you remember? What number?
Like the last one I was here or the last one as a host?
The last one as a host.
I think it was like 53.
Okay.
Something like that.
So this would be 75.
Nice.
That went fast.
Yeah. 20 weeks roughly.
Mm-hmm. We were just looking up these stats for podcasts, and it's something like if you can make it to 100, you're in the top like 2 or 3%. I can't remember what it was.
Cool.
But 90% of podcasts stop after 3. So you're already in the top 10.
Nice.
If you go to 4.
Past 3.
We're at 75. Pretty crazy journey.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yep. How's it been being away? Am I allowed to ask questions?
Sure.
Okay.
It's preferable. Yeah, it's been fine.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we've been busy, and I think that it was a good choice.
Yeah.
You never really know until you make a choice, and then you live it out and see if you made the right choice or not. And it definitely feels like, it definitely feels transition. It was hard for me, but it was also hard for Brielle because she liked the podcast a lot and liked that I was a part of it. But I think the other day I asked her, "Hey, how's it been going?" With me not, being gone once or twice a week for hours and this and that, and she admitted that it has been better. We have a 1.5-year-old at home who is she's a lot of work, so. I think about that a lot, like just being able to be home more because my wife is with the children all the time. So
right,
that's a big one. Like just all the things that I definitely feel like it was good. And as much as I miss it here and
most people's plates are only so big, you know, and at some point you have to prioritize and shift things around. So but yeah, she texted me the other day saying she was listening to Dr. Vora's episode. Oh yeah, and said that was really good. So that was nice.
Sweet. But
yeah, no, I'm glad that she's having you around more often, and that works out good.
What is that? Do you know Jocko Willink's famous saying?
Good. That one?
No, the other one. No, the other one. No, you just said part of it. It's like pivoting, the idea of pivoting. But you said 2 of the words, and it's such a good one. You know what I'm talking about? It's from his book. It's like on the tip of my tongue, and it's going to bother me. Anyway, okay, we are here to do a host as the guest podcast.
Yeah, it's very awkward.
Kind of, it's like riding a bike.
No, for me, I mean.
Oh, you're saying I'm doing a bad job?
No, being in this chair feels weird. I don't know where I am.
You usually sit over here.
I do.
Yeah. Can you tell on camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
See the right side of.
Yeah, everybody
face and the left side.
Everybody only sees this side of my face, and now they're gonna see this side and be like, "Who is this weirdo?"
Which side's your good side?
They're both bad.
Good answer. I mean, creative answer, not a good answer. It's a creative answer.
That always gets me going though. Like my wife, she can't stand on this side or whatever. She's like, "Oh, I gotta get on. We're taking a picture. We gotta get on this side. It's my good side."
He's like a female thing.
And then what's the right answer?
My right side's my good side.
No, but what's the right answer? When your wife asks you that.
Which way does your hair part? Oh, I mean,
no,
both are your good side.
Dude, you would have failed so bad. Probably Brielle has never done that. That's why you're still alive.
That's why she parts her hair in the middle. I'm just kidding.
Well, anyway.
Have you ever seen those if people had symmetric faces, they would what they would look like? Terrible. Yeah.
I've seen the Tom Cruise one because his tooth is in the middle of his head. Have you ever seen that?
No.
his teeth in his mouth are shifted so that one of his teeth is directly in the middle of his face. Yeah, it's weird.
Gotta be fake.
No, it's real.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'll show you sometime.
Just assume all celebrities have.
You should pull it up right now.
Teeth.
Just all you have to do is Tom Cruise tooth.
Tom Cruise tooth.
Yeah.
All right. I'm typing on camera again.
First name's Tom, and he goes on a cruise. Goes on a
tooth.
Yeah, tooth.
Doing exactly what you said.
Look,
there's a line down the middle of this face.
Mm-hmm. That's the one. But I have seen those ones.
This guy's like the richest guy in the world. He could totally get that fixed.
Yeah, isn't that crazy though?
That is really weird.
It looks like he's just perfectly symmetrical, and his tooth decided to follow suit.
That is really weird. His like whole mouth is shifted to the right. His left.
Mm-hmm. I have seen though.
He has a literal crooked smile.
I have seen my face is like that, like in the mirror. Like if I look in the mirror, sometimes it looks different to me than like on camera. That's because of like flipping images or whatever. You ever notice that?
Yes, I have heard of that phenomenon.
Mm-hmm. Where you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't look like me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how people see us because their reflection is always backwards of what they're looking at. I don't know. I have no idea. What
you always do look weird if you, I shouldn't say always. I've found times when you look weird with the camera reverse. Like the front facing camera changes the way you look.
Yep.
Not just because it reverses the left and right, but because it, like, I don't know, it's weird.
I have seen though when people do the symmetrical thing and they'll look totally different.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even look the
beauty
same
and asymmetry.
Oh, that was nice.
So it's not a bad thing to ask your wife when they say, what's my good side, to be honest with them. Because like there's a literal better side.
I guess, subjectively speaking. Although that's not the right answer, men out there. Both sides are equally good.
Truth is always best.
This is a slippery podcast already. We're getting a lot of men in trouble.
All right. So I was there at the very beginning, but I have a terrible memory and I'm kind of stupid. And it was a long time ago. So the first question I want to ask you is way back, probably like definitely almost 2 years ago now. Maybe actually 2 years ago. Kind of like when we decided to start thinking about doing the podcast seriously. What was it that pushed you to like actually take the leap? We're on episode 75, so this is a 3/4 to what? Yeah, this is a commemorative.
We started spring 24, right? Yeah.
Yep, May 12th. First episode.
How'd you know that?
Because it was also the last episode.
You stopped on May 12th. Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. That's how it worked out.
Oh, man. That's a long time to think back on because it honestly feels so like my life was even a different place at that point. Like I had a newborn. Yeah. Life was, I don't know why we thought about that.
No,
my second.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing was to get people's stories on that I knew and to get a deeper understanding of kind of what their journeys were like mostly that had a big impact. The fact that you were going to do it with me was like a big stepping stone for me.
Yeah.
Because I think like, I don't know if it was just me, I don't know if I would have done it. Like we built this thing together. You think about it.
We built this house.
And I don't know if I would have had the...
What they gonna say now?
Like the courage, I guess, to do it myself. Like it's a pretty big undertaking.
Or the craftsmanship.
It's pretty good. Except for that top,
you would have done just fine.
One. That one's still sticking up. I didn't fix that. But no.
I'm never going to see it.
Honestly, I think...
Now they're all wondering, what are they talking about?
Yeah, we need to see nobody will know. Exactly. It's all about framing. I think that the biggest... factor was, I wanted to get stories of people that I knew were pretty significant and that nobody knew their stories yet. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't have like you to do it with me, I don't think, which is kind of cool and interesting now that I'm doing it by myself, like kind of that arc, but I don't know if I would have had the confidence to start it on my own.
Yeah. There's something too, for sure. Like, leaping into things with another person.
Yeah. It's almost like you split the risk.
Yeah. It feels safer.
It's more motivating.
Feels safer, more motivation. Yeah.
Maybe it's accountability for me. Yeah. Like
different for everybody.
We had to do it because it wasn't just me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like a team atmosphere kind of guy.
Yeah.
I don't play any individual sports. So maybe that had something to do with it.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
It might have been something to do with, just our character. And
we're just better than everybody else. Better people.
Well, some people are like super intrinsically motivated and they'd start their own podcast because they want to do it.
Right.
And I was more like, yeah, I would love to do that, but I needed a little push, and like felt like the push was.
It's also funner.
Somebody else. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Way funner.
But like we also set a date, and we were like, okay, this is the date we need to have like things done by. And yeah, it was a little bit of a push, but ultimately there's this concept that's been in my mind lately, and it's been kind of explained as the messy middle. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Okay.
You're back in the host chair.
I keep asking the
Go
question.
ahead.
This is going to be hard.
I don't blame you. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Seriously,
so
what is that?
The messy middle is kind of the struggling through journey and understanding that everything has to have development, and it's not always the mountaintop, and it's not the excitement of the beginning. It's the hard things. It's the just reaching deep down to get something meaningful and purposeful. And I knew that there was a lot of stories in this area, particularly, that could bring that out, and it absolutely has. And so that was kind of part of it. I wanted to talk to people who are not just at the mountaintop. I wanted to talk to people who are in the middle, everyday struggles, how they've overcome them, how they're working through them, and how that can be applied like to any area of life. And yeah, so that was a big motivator for sure.
Yeah. I think, that's come up a few times about a motivation for starting the podcast. And that always sounds like the main motivator, the best, most valuable thing is like a lot of podcasts that people listen to are famous people and
right. Yeah.
Having other famous people on, but like it gets old. It almost feels like when we started this, like it was like, okay, there needs to be something else out there. Like, I don't know. That's what I like most about it, is the idea that you're talking to everyday people about like real life stuff that people can relate to, and not just, instead of listening to something that you like you're watching a movie. It's not real to you. It's entertaining, but it's not real. Yeah. That's my favorite part about this podcast, is that it's just regular people. That's actually relatable content.
Yeah.
That hits home the most for me. When you say that, I'm like, yeah, that's what it is.
Right.
There's something really valuable there.
It feels to me, it definitely. And there's certain ideals where when you're listening to a Goggins, when you're listening to a Jocko Willink, like they'll pump you up. They're motivational speakers. Right. They know how to talk. They know how to get you going. But you do feel like a little detachment from those guys, like Navy SEALs and like your Simon Sinek's and Jordan Peterson. It's great to listen to them, and it's great to, download that information and think deeply about those things. But I also think that part of what's missed is your everyday person who's dealing with everyday problems that more people can relate to. And that's what I've enjoyed. One of the biggest things I've enjoyed about the podcast, we talk a lot about parenting, self-improvement, marriage, what it looks like to be an entrepreneur, going through hard things, difficult struggles, accomplishing goals. These are things that sound like Jocko Willink and all them, but they don't talk about it in like the everyday scenarios. They're talking about more like combat or running 240 miles, where I can't relate to that.
Yeah, it's like it's not real. You're just something to aspire to, but like it's not.
And in my season of life, like that's not an option. I can't be training to go and run, and to that extreme, and that's fine. And if they ever wanted to come on the podcast, by all means. But I have really enjoyed just people that I already know in a lot of cases, and people who I don't know, coming on and just sharing their story. Like, here's what I've been through, here's what I've dealt with, and there's something about that that's endearing and authentic, and I've enjoyed that very much.
Yeah, sweet.
Yep.
That was gonna be my next question was what were you hoping to accomplish? And I think if I had to answer that question instead of me as the host,
you have to answer them.
Yeah, I think I remember like the goal was kind kind of like unlocking a bit of the talent around in our community. But I think there was some positive externalities that came out of the podcast. Like, it turns out we end up talking most about how we're all going through the same stuff. Mm-hmm. And that can be something that people root for, or not, like try to root out as they listen to the podcast episodes that have that more of that kind of spin in it. Other episodes that are like I remember we had Kurt Heisey on. That's kind of more of that like mentorship advice kind of podcast where you're looking for some good stuff instead of just encouragement through something that you found common ground with that guest. Like it ended up being, there's just like different topics that kind of are all like in the same wheelhouse, but still relatable. And yeah, I don't know. I think, would you agree?
Good segue.
You'd agree, right? All right, next question.
I totally think that's right because, I mean, for me personally, I think about things so much differently now than I did a year and a half ago. Really being able to, and this might get into some of your other questions, but I don't want to jump too far ahead. I feel like there's been so many times in this podcast, and you mentioned a good one with Kurt Heisey, where I didn't think about that thing, that area that we do think about a lot in that way, and it just totally transformed my outlook on the thing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, but I've thought about that a million times, just never like that, and how just that different perspective, that different angle was like, oh, maybe I'm coming about this the wrong way, or maybe I have my preconceived notions all messed up. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any were you looking for anything personal when you started the podcast, or was it more like, this is something I want to curate for an audience? I don't need any encouragement. I'm perfect.
Yeah, definitely not that
one. Did you have anything that you were hoping to get out of the podcast, or was it mostly like curating stuff for an audience and being the encourager? Were you looking for a piece of it too?
Right. I think my goal in the outset was to curate the messages of those around here, because I knew that the world is really starving for some of those perspectives. And a lot of it's been very nuanced, but I feel like I've been the biggest beneficiary of the podcast, and it's opened me up to realize that maybe this podcast was supposed to be like speaking to me and how I can make my life better. I hope that, people get that same feeling, but just from personal experience, it does feel that every time somebody comes on, I'm internalizing it to myself and figuring out ways that I'm so like inadequate in my effort or the way I look at things. And yeah, I've been really blessed by that. And I think that it's funny that it switched because, here I am trying to encourage other people, and really it's been encouragement to me the most. And one step further than that is it's been challenging. Like every time somebody comes on, there's something that's said during that podcast or themes from the episode that leave me challenged to apply it to my own life. And that has been so eye-opening to me. And I'm realizing maybe before I thought I had a lot of things figured out, and I'm realizing I really don't have anything figured out. And so, you can take that two ways, challenging parts of me that need development, that need work and intentionality, being discouraged by that or being excited by that. And I'm happy that I'm excited about the growth. I'm happy that I'm excited about how I can get better. I screw up every single day. And that's been maybe one of the harder parts is I'm actually flipping through episodes in my head or something somebody will say in the middle of an argument with my wife, or when I'm talking to my kids, or when I'm at work, and something from an episode will come to me, and it's humbling, just to see how far you are from those ideals.
Yeah.
And nobody we've had on is saying that they're like, I've got this ideal figured out. It's like, no, I'm struggling with this, and I've dealt with this, or I've gone through this, and I kind of hear some things that really helped me along the way to develop as a person. And yeah, it's been super humbling. And so, yeah, I guess to your question, like I originally didn't have that frame of mind at all. And it's been Yeah, I've been the biggest benefactor.
Definitely like, people have a lot more to say and are more interesting than they even realize sometimes. Like, that was a big one. Like most people seemed, I mean, I don't know, insecure is the right word, but I think most people are pretty self-deprecating and just don't know what they have to offer. And like, it seemed like they had more to offer than they realized and did. And that was pretty, I wouldn't say surprising, but like, yeah, definitely eye-opening that when you open yourself up to like a deep conversation, like you can actually offer something and then you can actually also receive something.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if it's the medium. I don't know if you can capture this in real life, just sitting down and having a normal conversation outside of a podcast studio. But yeah, for sure. That's true. Also, real quick, can you stop answering my questions ahead of time?
Am I? Sorry.
What are you, psychic? Oh, that sounds like one of the biggest lessons you've learned from the guests you've interviewed so far.
Yeah. I'm glad that I can just like ramble for a couple minutes and answer 10 questions. How often has that been the case though, where every single person that we talk to comes on and they think they don't have anything to offer.
Yeah.
And they think, I'm nobody. I'm struggling just as much as anybody else. Mm-hmm. Here's my life story and what I've gone through and what I've learned. Yeah. And that's just so valuable. And then within a couple minutes, you're like, oh, thanks for teaching me now how I can approach this situation.
Yeah. I think people, one thing I've learned is one thing I learned is I don't think people realize how differently everyone thinks.
Right.
How people think. There's a million different situations we can face in our life in a million different people. And those, like, that's a big multiplier. And like, that means there's a million different ways you can go about thinking about the same situation that somebody else might be facing. And like, there's a value to sharing, perspectives, and it just opens up a world of like, oh, I never would have thought of that thing that way, or I never would have thought to do something that way, or I never would have thought I could handle this hard part in my life this way. That person went through the exact same thing and they thought about it in a way that I never have thought about it. Like, we all just think so differently. And
and that's why, and every single person, no matter if you even this kind of gets to the whole point of interviewing people and listening to people's stories in general, is that even if you don't agree, or even if you don't relate at some level, there's something to be taken from every single episode.
Yeah.
You know, there's a way to learn and grow from every single perspective. Mm-hmm. It could be as simple as, well, I don't think that perspective makes sense. And then, okay, how's that work out in my mind? Or it could be that I'm the wrong one, which is most often the truth. And I think that there's so much value to everybody's story and how we can relate to each other. I don't know if this will get to more of your other questions, but I can jump I can jump to like several episodes just fresh off the top of my mind that are like profound wisdom that I know I'll use forever now. I never thought about that way. And
which episode, if you had to pick, impacted you the most, and why? Dang it, dude. You're like a wizard.
Sorry.
Yeah, can you think of one?
Can I think of like one?
Spot? Yeah, anything.
I can think of about 74 of them.
Yeah, prove it.
Episode 1.
Yeah, like which one? Like, can you think of one that impacted you like more than others? Like, it's one that stand out.
I 75. I think because the podcast is designed in a way that it's not a specific criteria. Like, we're not just talking about technology. Mm-hmm. We're not just talking politics. We're not just talking marriage or parenting or business or whatever, discipline. I would say that there has to be a few for each category, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Because something that would have hit me hard from a business episode maybe doesn't have the same impact in my life as a parenting episode. Mm-hmm. And so some of the highlights I can think of right away would be Carrie Herbine's episode, who's now a CEO, which is so crazy. Mm-hmm. Just the way that he talked about business. I had never, this is one of the things, I would have not come into this podcast understanding the impact of assuming intent. I've never heard it framed that way my entire life. Well, don't judge a book by its cover. Okay, well, that's kind of not the same thing. Assuming somebody's intent based on an action is just a totally different way of looking at that person and trying to relate to them in what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And you know, my wife and I have these conversations all the time about, hey, maybe, you know, and it was actually echoed in, you know, Chief Mello's episode. He's like, if you're going to assume intent, assume positive intent at first. And Jenna Eggensteiner's episode and Carrie Herbine's episode. And these are like themes throughout this entire block of 74 episodes, that there's got to be truth there, because it keeps getting brought up to me, especially that particular thing in professional settings. Mm-hmm. There's got to be something there. And so I'm thinking about it all the time.
Individuals who have achieved a certain level of success in their life, where it should be like, oh, I should tune in on this. It's not just
by the way,
down the street.
Don't know each other.
Right.
They don't know each other. Yeah. They've never spoken. They're in totally different fields. Mm-hmm. They're in totally different leadership avenues. And like, obviously there's something there. So it's time to hone in on that.
I use that one all the time against my wife. You're assuming my intent. You're assuming my intent.
Yeah, that's an easy one to do.
I'm just kidding.
But you know how frustrating it is, though, when somebody assumes intent wrongly for you.
It's almost like they've already made their mind up. That's which is why you can't do that yourself. You totally have already made your mind up, and it's an uphill battle that is the whole thing, is like, once you've assumed intent, how easily is your mind going to be changed, and how frustrating must that be for your partner or your subordinate or your leader, the person in leadership. Yeah.
And it doesn't spawn like anything good. Right. It's toxic.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been in places in my life where it's like, it was really hard to be on both ends of that. I'm still not great at it, but like, that's a very convicting principle. Yeah. It'll humiliate you. It'll humble you. Once that's a big one. I encourage anybody. That's episode 4.
It's episode 4, and go listen to that. Yeah. I've watched it myself like 4 times.
Yeah, if you want to feel like a terrible person, go listen to episode 4.
And a terrible leader.
That's one thing that I think, the thing is about that is, I think that's one of our biggest flaws as humans. Like that very principle that he kind of focuses on is like one that I personally believe we collectively as a species, like, fall on our faces all the time committing that one sin, like, especially now. That's like, there's there's different ways you can commit that same sin. But it's like it's the root of evil when once you assume intent in a very general sense, like you've already made your mind up. Yeah. And that is the beginning of a toxic interaction. Like a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of jealousy, a lot of all these things happen because of that one thing that these people are, encourage you to not do. And there's value to listening. And I think, that is a big one. That's one of the bigger ones, I think, from all 75 episodes. I would agree. Like, again, I think it's something that we all do every day, and it gets to a point where most people probably don't even notice it. I know I don't. If you're not careful, like, that can just be how you are. Right. You can just become somebody who just does that all the time to people around them, situations around them. And like, it'll ruin your life.
Yeah. And it leads to like bitterness and resentful and all of these characteristics.
And you start treating people around you like that. And then it turns into ruined relationships and work, personal. Yeah. That's a really big one that I'm telling you, he needs to write a book.
And if anybody knows, communication is not most people's strong suit. Yeah. And so even to be able to communicate that, hey, that actually wasn't my intent, and then have that be received with humility on both sides. Right. Like, we're talking about only the people who are super emotionally intelligent, another buzzword that I've learned from this podcast that is so, so valuable, especially in today's world, to find people in a situation like that both are tuned in that way emotionally and being, with intelligence is just super rare.
Yeah. Yep. And I think a lot of people who, let me just talk about this one thing real quick. I think people who are halfway to understanding this idea of not assuming intent would be an important thing to do is, so like in a perfect world, it's a two-way street. Like, I'm not going to assume your intent on why you did this thing in this situation. And then your hope is that then you achieve that. Like, you're like, oh, I did it. I'm not bitter. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at them. Like, I'm not going to assume that they did this thing on purpose or whatever. And then like, you're good. You're like, oh, I'm great. And then they open their mouth and they don't reciprocate that. And so then you go off the rails again. Then now you're mad that they assumed intent, or they don't think you're being honest. So like, that's another big thing too, is like, it is a two-way street. This is what's hard about the whole idea. And this is what was challenging for me in certain points in my life. It is a two-way street, but like, it's also not a two-way street. So like, ideally both people are treating each other with that same respect. But when you get into a situation where, and sometimes you're the one doing it, but like when you get into a situation where you're doing everything right, but they don't reciprocate, and now you have to keep doing the right thing.
Right.
And you're like, it's driving you crazy, but like, it's better, it's better, but it's like, that's where people, it's like doubling down on that principle.
Yeah.
And I think that's a battle people don't quite expect. I think when we behave in an acceptable manner, we expect to be treated likewise. But the problem is with this situation, often you might be practicing something or be somewhere where like the other person might not be there yet. And they may not realize that you are trying to be honest, trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And they'll still just still slam you. Or that's just how you're seeing it. You know what I mean? Like that's again, so then you end up reverting to like, so it's just this constant, like forcing yourself to be good, like forcing yourself that no matter how nutso the other side seems, like that's just your view of it. If you're not careful, like you're the one assuming intent. Yep. And it's like this forced, like, it's like being a monk. It's like this forced practice that you may not see it in the moment, but like you will hit resolution much better, much cleaner, and much faster.
Yeah.
If you just assume that whatever, like they're not doing it on purpose, or it's just, it's a two-way street, but like it's hard when it's not.
If your framework is naturally one way or another, and this is something super important. So I'm kind of like a give you the benefit of the doubt until you prove me wrong. Yeah. Kind of. Which is a little bit of what he's talking about. But I have had that where it's been too far. I've given people too many opportunities, or the benefit of that too many times, and then got burned.
Right.
Where it was just because, I was assuming negative intent there because it actually was. Like that wasn't, like I was actually right. Yeah. But I should have come about it.
Yeah. Is that the most important thing?
Right. I think it's healthier to go about it assuming positive intent and then working yourself backwards versus being afraid, which is usually the motivation, right? It's fear that somebody's trying to hurt you, whether it's with their words or reputation destruction or disobedience in the parenting world. Yeah. It's a lot easier to come back from that, or to address it a different way as far as your heart goes. Which ultimately, and you just touched on this a little bit, ultimately, we're in control of us, our own personal actions, our own heart, our own thoughts, how we combat them, and how in tune we are to battling those. So it seems like we start to get into, like, how do I fix that person mentality, kind of. So, lead with that for sure. And that's been a theme.
It's not that you're ignoring people. It's what people are potentially, how they're mistreating you or how you're being unfairly treated in life. It's more like if your first response is, hey, you're doing that thing, instead of, hey, like that hurt my feelings. Was it meant to? Like it can be just a question. Like the idea that you attack a situation by your first response being accusing, and trying to get away from that. It's life-changing. Yeah.
It lends into it becomes quickly tribal. And if you start thinking about this concept in the lens of group identities, then you can start to see how our political climate gets the way that it is, because the first thing that the other side says that I don't like must be because they mean the worst possible thing. And I think that even in the last 6 months or so, my perspective has been using that theme in politics more, and just not immediately assuming like that person means the worst or everything's the worst case scenario.
Yeah,
maybe they actually mean well.
Ultimate litmus test.
Can you say that? Can you say that?
I don't know.
Maybe that person means
well.
I'm
doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing I'm not supposed to. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that would be. That's good. Probably keeps yourself, it'll keep you sane. If anything, like it'll probably help you not be so bitter towards the government or whatever. Like that's a lot of people. Like maybe if a lot of people, so yeah, there's a fine line between like,
is that still good?
It's good. Yep. There's a fine line between, people like pretending like something's not happening and responding positively as your first response.
Because people don't usually want to be ignorant.
We would have to have Carrie to come in here and elaborate on that.
He's got to write a book.
Yeah. He's gonna, or he's gotta?
No, he's gotta.
Gotta. I agree.
Yeah. But that can be, that whole philosophy can be used in marriage. That whole philosophy can be used in parenting. Like it just apply whatever walk of life you're in right now, whatever business setting you're in right now, whatever relationship status you're in, whatever your disrepair of your family is, like just try doing that for a little while and see if it works.
Yeah. I had a pretty convicting moment. Was it last night or the night before? And this is like the simplest way that this could manifest in real life. Like when my boys, I have 2 boys and 2 girls, when my boys are not within my sight and there's commotion, my first instinct is to assume that both of them have contributed to the commotion. So they will get disciplined together.
Right.
So something, or, corrected or whatever the situation calls for. And I think it was last night, there was commotion and somebody was crying or upset or something. And I knew the boys were together and I knew that it was involving them or one of them because of something they had just left my sight. And I just knew that they were involved. And I was like, Levi and Rocky, get down here. And like, they had to come down and they had to sit through this like long talk that they zoned out on as I was giving it to them.
Right.
And then they go upstairs and I'm sitting there continuing the football game and it hit me. Oh my gosh. Maybe one of them had nothing to do with that. And they just had to sit there and like take it from dad. And I was like, I felt terrible. I was like, so like 5 minutes after I had finished, I like yelled for them to, I said, hey, come back down here. And because I'm too lazy to get off the couch and go get it myself. And they came downstairs and I was like, just real quick, was that either one of you or was that both of you? And they were like, oh yeah, it was me too. And I was like, okay, good of you.
Yeah.
Like I was like so relieved, but like, yeah, like that's a big one. Like when you're saying in parenting, I mean, in parenting, I think it manifests itself in the very rudimentary ways. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like how many times do we hear something in the house and we assume like our kid did something bad, right? Because you're just so quote unquote overstimulated. At the end of the day, you're like ready to jump on any noise that's made or any.
I could probably give you examples from today.
Yeah. But like, maybe it wasn't them and maybe it was an accident or maybe they're just children and you made a choice and it's not going to be quiet for the next 15 years. That's what that one gets me. That one gets me all the time is like your expectation for how quiet the house should be is like through the roof right now. And you need to like dial it back.
Right.
Like you made this choice. You chose to have 4 kids in 8 years. Like own it, boy.
Dude, I know.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That's very super convicting. Anyway, it's your podcast, not mine.
Well,
here we go.
I mean, yeah, I can think of examples like you talk about convicting things. I can think of things today where I didn't handle them right. And it was because, I probably was assuming that shouldn't have been a big enough deal to my daughter for her to have that big of a
big smart me already knows what's going on and what everyone was meant.
Little tiny 3-year-old. If I was in that position, what would I what would I expect? Or, I should be doing the same thing, assuming positive intent and then working backwards from there. It's a way better litmus test.
Yeah.
It's easier.
Yeah. It hits me a lot how arrogant I can be when I assume that I already know what's going on.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
and how often are you right?
Yeah. Probably not as much as I think in the moment. I mean, definitely not as much. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
I need to work on that one. Like that's a big one for me is like, you don't need to investigate anything. You already know what's going on. You already know what happened. You already know who did what and who did what, why. Like, that's that one I often think a lot about, and it makes me feel like very small. I need to work on that big time.
Yep.
My poor kids. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I do want to ask you like what something that along those lines that not that you practice in your life that you found from the podcast, but anything that has surprised you or convicted you outside of just
where do I start?
I'm a bad parent, but like not like that, but like legit, like something that's like convicted you, something that you've really, really tried to apply in your life.
If I would say any of these things, I'm working on them today, and I probably messed them up today.
Right.
That's the thing. But I definitely have I've thought a lot more about these things than I maybe otherwise would have. You know, it's very easy to get lost in your day. It's very easy to get busy, but I've thought more deeply about all of these things, which has brought me, I guess, a deeper understanding, which is what I needed. I thought I had things figured out for the most part. So it's been very humbling. And that's kind of the point I made earlier, is just like I'm realizing how far away from the mark I am, and that's okay. That's all right. How do I stay zoned in on that target and be okay with the journey and getting better at it every day? It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah. Yeah.
But everything's been
feels
convicting.
Like a sprint though, doesn't it? Life is short, but the learning process is a marathon. Yeah. Nice, dude.
Tyson, good stuff. I mean, one of the things that comes to mind is Tyson was talking about when you're in the middle of, he was specifically talking about parenting, but in the middle of the battle, you don't always see that you're winning the war. And that is very much how I feel on a day-to-day basis, because I mess up every single day.
Yeah.
And it's reassuring also that I'm probably going to mess up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So is that okay? Like, is it part of the growth? If in the big picture I'm moving in the right direction, even though it doesn't feel like it with every little setback and the casualties of every little day, you know, that comes by, all the little things, is it okay to know that my orientation is in the right direction? I'm working at these things. Yeah. I think that there's grace there.
Oh, man, dude, I feel like we've had this exact same, about to have a deja vu moment. Yeah, do you remember that one quote that I tried to come up with like a half a year ago and I couldn't like quite say it? I'm gonna do it again. Here we go again.
That one quote.
It's so good. I heard it and I was like, man, I need to like remember that, because it is really good. Something like, here we go. Everyone goes through life and you feel like you're walking through a fog, but it's not until you look back that you realize there was fog or something like that. Yeah. Boy, I butchered that. That was not nearly as impactful.
I've heard that. Yeah. I've heard you say that before. Man,
I'm going to look it up real quick.
Google it. Google it, Jamie.
So it's like just an idea. The idea is just like keep on pushing forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The idea is that like the small battles aren't indicative of winning the war. The overall outcome, you know, how many wars have been won where they've lost lots of those battles? Every one of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not trying to get too discouraged by the everyday casualties, I think, is important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're always there. I can remember today already that things that I screwed up today. It's frustrating.
Oh, what have I screwed up today? Nothing. Not yet. Yeah. You got a process?
Do I have a
You're
process?
75 episodes in. How do you hype yourself up before a podcast? Do you like jump in the cold plunge or hit the sauna?
No. So like technically speaking?
Yeah, like we have you have like a pre-episode process that you go through. Like what's your mental, like emotional process? Like, or are you just like ascend it?
Honestly, for the sake of time, it's mostly ascend it. I do try to have an idea of kind of what I want to ask. That way, dude, podcasting is like it's hard
to balance.
Especially hosting is like, there's one thing to talk to somebody, and then there's another to be like steering a conversation and knowing perhaps when it's trailing off too far and keeping it up.
Like if you ever start talking about fog.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
It was my job to bring us back, and I didn't.
I don't usually have...
You definitely had more preparation at the beginning. Like, yeah. I'm sure it's way more relaxed now just because you already know, like, you're just gooder at what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm way gooder at it.
That's right.
No, I sometimes feel like I'm not. It's hard. Yeah, I don't know. That's tough. It depends.
Yep.
So it does depend. Sometimes,
if you have Corin on, you just do a stupid workout.
Dude, I remember that. Yeah. That was nuts. What were we thinking?
That was not fun.
Every workout
hasn't been back on since. Just kidding. It's probably been on the most.
Yeah.
Shout out Corwin. Crazy. Yeah. Do you have any emotionally?
Oh boy.
You gotta like tune in emotionally.
Okay, I'm
ready to receive.
You're talking about before podcasting?
Yeah.
Honestly,
does it depend on the guest?
It doesn't seem like I have that much luxury to do that.
Yeah.
Like because this is just a hobby and because it's, you know, kind of on the fly and the scheduling can be whatever it is. Sometimes I'm just kind of jumping into it.
Yeah.
But I do try to have like some baseline questions just in my mind. If I don't know somebody, then I'll prepare a little bit more probably.
Yeah. Yep.
Like a good example would be when Dr. Vora came on. I don't know him, or I didn't know him before the podcast, but I had a very specific topic that I wanted to talk about as far as his climbing skills and his journey. Yep. So I did prepare for that one a little bit more than maybe I would if I had somebody that I know really well on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't put a ton of pressure on the conversation. I try not to anyways. So if it comes out awkward, yeah, it's just kind of the way it is.
Yeah.
No, but I don't, because there's some podcasters that they just sit down and they just kind of rip with it and they're really natural at it, and that's great. And I know that there's other podcasters that are very detailed and their conversation is orchestrated beforehand in their mind and in their notes. Chris Williamson is like that from Modern Wisdom. Like he has all of his notes on his iPad, and usually he starts out his episodes with a question.
Yeah.
Like right out the get. He's just very in tune and focused on what he wants that guest to talk about. And I'm a little bit freer that way. And on the other end, you got like Joe Rogan and those guys, and they just kind of, I think he sits down and probably does some research, but it just seems natural to him. So,
yeah. Yeah. It's probably the actual episode recording itself is probably the easy part.
Yeah.
There's the scheduling, there's the episode, and then there's like the editing and releasing. I bet you probably have more of that process oriented mindset with what happens after the episode.
Yeah.
Do you have like some kind of, this is just for like people who are maybe interested in media stuff. This is kind of your wheelhouse. Like, do you have a process for once the episode's done and it's time to start uploading stuff, editing out awkward pauses or conversations about fog? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's been fine tuned. Yeah, like I definitely have.
Yeah. I feel like you had it down from episode 1.
Well, yeah, maybe, but
from my perspective. Like,
yeah.
What are you doing? Is that a computer?
Yeah.
Do I talk into this or not? Yeah.
Yeah, that side of it has like more structure. You know, this is how it has to be done. I'm learning a lot of mostly painfully ways that increase the time of editing, and I don't. That makes me angry. So I'm trying to streamline it all because I don't have tons and tons of free time.
Right.
So making sure that the episodes stay relatively on schedule, which can be hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, I've had times where I'm supposed to be uploading an episode and for whatever reason it won't download right to the computer, and then you got to upload and that takes 6 hours. Or it's just
it's the nitty gritty. You're welcome, everyone. Think this is easy? Think again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's within reason. I mean, it's a hobby right now.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Do you find it easy or difficult to balance it with work? Work is probably what takes up most of your time. But like work and family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's
that going?
I could be more disciplined with my time. Like ultimately, it's not a matter of can I make time for it. It's will I do everything else in an intentional manner to have the extra time.
Yeah.
And I am big on efficiency. I love to do everything. Like even when I'm cleaning the house, man, like I'll try to have that done so fast and do certain things and compartmentalize everything so that it's all done as quick as possible. With the podcast, if I feel like I'm not getting the time to do it, it's probably because somewhere else I'm too slow or I'm wasting time. And so, I don't know. It does take a lot of time though.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. I think there's been a lot of good stuff.
Tell us. How much time?
How much time does it take?
Yeah, what goes into an episode? Like, so the people that listen know that like you get an episode a week, which is a lot. Like that's a good podcast. Is some do more than one, but like once a week is like I would listen to a podcast that did once a week. That's like you want to have new content often enough. Yeah, and it's a lot of hard work to do it once a week. Like, is that hard to pull off or?
It can be. Yeah. Like if I'm not
how committed to that, are you? Is it a commitment?
It does sometimes feel like a commitment, and there's been a lot of late nights on Monday nights before episodes release. Like tonight's gonna be an example. If it doesn't get pushed back, I'm learning to not be as strict with that schedule. A lot of our listeners are trying to keep up. At least that's what I hear. It's a lot of content, but.
Yeah, I've never heard of somebody who stopped listening to a podcast because it didn't come out the day they thought that usually does.
Yeah.
They're just happy. Like they're looking like, like when it does come out the next day, they're like super excited.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've gotten that response before.
Yeah.
Right.
You're just hoping it comes out.
Like
you're not like, I'm never listening to this podcast again. It doesn't make any sense.
There are podcasts that I don't know the release schedule.
Yeah. Right.
It's online.
Yes.
Watch as you wish.
That's true. Like a lot of
people,
download
it when you can. Everybody has different time in their life. Like I just spoke with somebody who listens every single Tuesday, and I've heard from people who every Tuesday morning they're waiting for 8:00 so that they can listen. Yeah. And I've also heard people who at their leisure are working through the episodes.
They just know there's going to be something this week. Yeah.
And that's great. And and there's no pressure one way or another.
Yeah. I think that's good.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah. Good for you, dude. You've changed.
You've
changed, man. Yeah. Both are good. Yeah. And both are fine.
Yeah. I think consistency as far as uploading is probably good for algorithms, but
that probably was that more what it was for you at the beginning?
Honestly, when I was starting the podcast and really researching like people who do podcasts and start podcasts, they were saying the consistency is so important for your viewer base, for your subscribers. People know when to tune in. Yeah. But I don't know if this show is that so much that way.
You know what that feels like to me? That feels like to me what you have to say when you're teaching newbies,
right?
To like kind of like how Dave Ramsey, like he's talking to a certain audience, like he knows that there are people that manage money really well that can get away with using credit cards, but like you're never gonna hear him say it.
Yeah.
Like I think it's one of those same things. Like they got to teach you something, and then but once you're a year and a half in and you've committed and like the episodes are rolling, there are some things that kind of drop off the. Yeah. It's not actually that important. Like you said, a lot of people don't know when podcasts get released. They just are happy when a new episode comes out. Like, I feel like that's every podcast I've ever listened to.
Yep. Never
followed a release schedule. So.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's an episode on. Okay.
Yeah.
And if I have time, then I'll listen to it. If I don't, then I don't.
Yeah. This isn't 1990s cable television.
Right. Probably for building an audience, that's probably key.
Yeah.
But they also said to stay in a niche genre, like stay within one thing and only talk about that one thing so you get a loyal following. It's not what we do. So, I mean, if I was to look back at even the last 10 guests, I'm like totally different, all of them. And it's basically just because it's people I want to talk to. So,
yeah. I feel like a lot of the good podcasts I listen to, like, that's not what they do either.
Yeah. And I think that
variety is good
for the catalog or for the episode. I don't know what you call it. I guess catalog works. For the episode catalog, go through and pick and choose what you like. All the descriptions are on there, all the timestamps. It's if something speaks to you, then hopefully it impacts and encourages you. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Can I make you think back on 75 episodes real quick?
Sure.
This next question's like, it's going to be a doozy. Ooh. Ready? Thinking back, maybe you already have an answer. Maybe you've already thought of it. Do you have an interview that A, didn't go as planned, or B, just was not a good interview? Like, have you had one of those? Like, whew, Not going to have that person back. I'm going to ask the hard-hitting questions.
You were doing good. Gosh.
Careful. We know all these people. No, I'm just kidding. More like, one that didn't go anywhere. I feel like they've all been good. You can't probably throw anything out. But one that didn't go the way you thought.
I think it's been the opposite, and this is going to sound like a political answer probably, but everybody who's been on has either, I had like apprehensions about some and turned out to be great. Or I didn't know the person and I was nervous about it, turned out to be great.
Yeah.
So it's actually had kind of the reverse, I think.
That's a big one.
Like there's been a few times where I was nervous. Like, I don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Maybe this person isn't very comfortable in this environment. And then luckily, just because of, I think it's just because it feels like a conversation that even if it's awkward for a few minutes, a couple of minutes in, it's just talking.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any where I thought, ooh, I don't know if I can release that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I asked the question and then immediately answered for you to protect you, but we're not here to cause any problems. I'm the host. I decide. Also, I can, that was a good answer and it is the truth.
Okay.
I personally can vouch for your, for that answer. Yeah. There was quite a few where like, I don't really know that person or like nervous to talk to this person. And then it ended up just being like really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that like the first couple, like looking back at them, was not great.
Yeah. The first couple literally were you and me. So
it's because of me. I felt very awkward and forced a little bit. Just ridiculous.
Yeah. It's easy to look back and be self-critical.
Oh yeah.
We all do that. We're all embarrassed of like the things we do.
Yeah.
Like we look back.
What was I doing? Yeah. And now it's public record on YouTube forever.
Yeah. But still though, like as first episodes go, like pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Those went better than we thought they would go. Like
I'm perfectionist. So I'll look, I haven't looked back at those in a long time, but more recently I have been going through some of the older episodes and kind of listening to them in the background. And kind of re-downloading that information, Carrie Herbine, Patrick Harney, all of the early Dan Myers, even Corwin Chrisman's first episode. A lot of those have a lot of really good things in them that I forgot about. So
yeah,
good refresher, good reminders, and it's there. So
yeah,
it's a tool. Use it.
Yeah, that's it for behind the scenes. No more curtains closed. The podcast talks a lot about has a faith-based aspect to it. Have you had any specific, have you been felt personally challenged in any specific way as far as your faith goes? We've had a lot of our family on, and that would probably be your biggest spiritual influence. Have you learned anything new? Like anything in the podcast with, your dad or Kurt, like some of the bigger spiritual influences in your life where you learned something new that you hadn't heard them say before, or a lesson you hadn't heard from them before? Or was it all like, heard that from Kurt before? Like anything, did you learn anything?
Probably if I would actually watch through those again, every episode that we get done with, I always leave feeling like, oh, I never heard that before.
Yeah.
I never thought about it that way before. And I think it gets to the broader term, I guess the even biblical term, philosophy, landscape would just be iron sharpening iron. Like that is what it is. Like growth is relational.
Yeah.
And growth is uncomfortable. Growth is hard. Growth isn't fun. We all grow at different paces in different ways. I could look back at all of those and have felt challenged afterwards. It's not only is it a good reminder, but it's a good, it's just a good barometer for where you're at in your marriage and your fitness and like whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think a big one is like just learning, not specifically when you hear people talk for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, like you see like there's another layer, another depth to that person that you might not see in a normal everyday interaction. And it creates like this yearning for like wisdom. Like, I can think of Kurt's, one of Kurt's episodes. He's been on more than once, right? Mm-hmm. where like you talk to them and you get 2 hours of your undivided attention, respectively. And it just hits you every time. Like there's this person's an onion. There's another layer. Like there's another layer to people. Like you might have an idea of who people are, and then you sit down and talk to them for 2 hours and they open up, and It's like, oh, there's so much more to that person. And it makes you want to just seek more. Yeah. Especially when it comes, like, think spiritually, is a big one, because there's a certain level of vulnerability that comes from undivided attention type of conversation for 2 hours. And when people are vulnerable and open themselves up, it's very attractive to someone who has something to learn from you. And so that was a big one for me. Like I may not be able to think on the spot about, oh yeah, that really got me thinking about this specific Bible verse, or yeah, it made me realize I need to read my Bible more. But like more importantly, a curiosity, and because of that is manifest because of what a vulnerable conversation can do. Like,
right.
Yeah, it makes you want to have the next guy on.
And how often do you get that time with people? Yeah. You don't ever really get to the heart of what people think or what people have learned.
Yeah.
And how that's transformed them unless you sit down for a while.
Yeah. This person's willing to open up to me. Like I should listen. Yeah. Like there's going to be something good in here. I can tell.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things just from, I mean, you talked about people that I would maybe know really well, but there was lots of times when those people were on and I learned something brand new about them.
Yeah. What's the hardest thing about doing this whole experience? Like, are there any challenges? Like do you feel like, nah, man, it's just really hard to get an episode out. Like I'm tired, like, or man, yeah, scheduling guests is a challenge. Like just like whatever, the real technical stuff. Like, yeah. Or maybe it's something emotionally. Like, do you walk away feeling like, man, like I'm not good enough? Like these people, like we talk about that stuff all the time, but like really, does it really hit you, or is it more encouraging?
Yeah. When I tell you that I leave each episode thinking about something that somebody said that episode, I mean it. Like first of all, I have to take all this information. I have to edit it, which means I consume it again.
There you
go. At least one more time.
Yeah.
And when I think about all the times when people come on here and they leave, I try to take it to heart. Mm-hmm. I really try to digest it.
Not squander the experience.
Yeah. I'm very appreciative for people coming and spending their time and getting some of this stuff on the record on the show. So I do take it very seriously. If I was to sit down and list out 15 things I'm working on currently, I guarantee I could trace them back to the episodes. So I do take what everybody's saying here super seriously, and I try to make my life better through their examples and their struggles and what they're going through and how they're trying to make their lives better. I don't know if that answers anything.
Yeah. I can ask more specifically, and this could be like, the answer could be no, not really, and that's okay. But is there like a specific struggle or insecurity you have to work through throughout this whole process, whether it's walking away from an episode, going into an episode, the production side of it and presenting it to people, the audience?
You know, one thing that I've been thinking about ever since we had Corwin on early on, he was talking about discipline, and discipline can certainly be used in any walk of life, whatever you're doing. But to myself, after one of his episodes was talking specifically about discipline, I thought, am I a disciplined person? And my response was, kind of. Do you hear the irony there? How are you kind of disciplined? That's an oxymoron. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's probably definitionally challenged already. Mm-hmm. And what does that mean? Am I disciplined? Sometimes. That was what I thought. Mm-hmm. In some areas of my life, I'm disciplined. In some areas of my life, I'm not. Well, that's not discipline. That's selective intention. Yeah. So recently, I have been doing things I don't like to do that I know are good to try to build that underlying discipline. And that has been a journey the last few months.
Like what?
Honestly?
Oh, yeah. Hit me with it.
Trying to be more patient. Very hard for me, especially extending grace and being patient with my wife, with my kids is huge. Patience is something I could get better at. And I think I could be more disciplined in extending patience and having that be my first response. So that's been tough, more of like an internal thing. Externally, my fitness, I started running.
Barf.
I hate running.
Yeah.
I don't like running at all. I've always been like I play basketball and baseball.
There's
softball.
Running in that. There's juice in the hot dogs.
There's sprinting.
Yeah.
Like there's, I guess basketball, there's a lot of running, but it's directional and you're kind of distracted because you're playing, you're focused on something else and not like the suck, like the grit and the grind. I've always struggled to run long distance because I think I'm too mentally weak, honestly. Because when I start to run long distance, all of the thoughts creep into my head. You can just take a break. Like, you can just stop running and walk.
You're old. You shouldn't do this. It's not good for you. Better off doing something
all
else.
All of the doubts creep in pretty quick, and they become excuses, and then they stop me.
Yeah.
And so lately, I started a running program, and it's November 24th.
Mm-hmm.
Not the best time to go running when you don't have a treadmill that really works for running.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been running outside, sub 30 degrees many times, rain, sleet, snow. And it's because I'm trying to train myself. I'm trying to become more disciplined in my fitness. And so we'll see how that goes. So far, so good. 4 weeks or 5 weeks in. Nice. So far, so good.
Did you do like a base mile time to improve on, figure out where you're at, or have you done that yet or no?
Kind of. I'm looking a little bit more towards long distance.
Okay.
So it's not totally about speed. Mostly because I'm already fast. I'm already got that. But okay, so the whole premise of what I'm saying is I need to be mentally tougher and grow the parts of my brain that are going to help me become a more disciplined person in my everyday life. It's not just about running.
Yeah.
It's about going out and doing something that I don't like to do. And I think, I'm hoping that will translate into other areas of my life where I'm more confident in discipline.
Yeah. Because the best time to start is now. And I think a lot of people.
What do they say? The best time.
Does it involve fog?
No.
Dang it.
They say something about the best time to start a goal is 10 years ago. What is that? You know that quote?
I was going to say like yesterday, 10 years ago. Yeah, something like that.
I think it's yesterday. So the best time to start doing something you don't want to do or setting a goal is yesterday. And then the second best time is right now.
Yep, I have heard that.
So yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. And that's all stemmed from the podcast. It's all, we're not a self-help podcast, but there's a lot of really good stuff that's taught me how to be a better person. I'm trying.
I think we can all relate to like the biggest regret people have on a daily basis has got to be not having the discipline to do the things that you want to do and instead pushing it off till the next day.
I have a quote about that. So basically along those lines, this is a quote I saw today. I don't even know who it's from. It says, your life doesn't change when you know what to do. It changes when the pain of not doing it outweighs the comfort of staying the same. So that's...
Hopefully that doesn't take, 30 years. Like
well, it can.
Right.
It can.
That's hard to wrestle with.
To me, that's scarier than the pain of doing it now. Right. Yeah.
And it is. You're right. Yeah. For some people, it's different things that make them realize that is true. Like it is scarier to push it off. The thought of 30 years from now not changing is scarier than the pain of doing it today.
Right. So that's just
for some people it's weight loss. For some people it's business, taking a leap.
What about relationships?
Estranged,
right?
Healing relationships.
Estranged relationships. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, you know, could be anything.
You hear that a lot. I haven't talked to my dad in 10 years, and then he dies. And then you're like, okay. Yeah. The regret that comes along with, I wish I would have patched things up with him before he died or whatever. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Perhaps there's something in my life right now that I could do better. Yeah. And the benefits aren't necessarily just for me; they're for my family or for my wife or my kids. Yeah,
relationships probably the most important thing there. Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of wrap up here. Yep. Is there a conversation you haven't had yet that you hope to? A topic or a person that you have in mind? You don't have to say the person, but maybe what it is about them that you want to talk about. Whether it's a existential topic or just like. I know with Dr. Vora that like obviously there's a lot of cool stuff like that, something like that, whether it's a topic or a subject or something somebody's done. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything that you're like hoping to come to fruition sometime?
One conversation that comes to mind, and I'm hoping to have it soon. A past guest, Demetrius Napolitano, was just on, and we kind of got his background and his story, and really laid a good framework for maybe a little bit tougher conversation next. And I don't mean that.
Good answer.
Yeah, I don't mean that in like a combative way.
Yeah.
I mean it in like an iron sharpens iron way.
Kind of like buckle down and take it to the next level.
Yeah, I feel like our relationship is unique, and I hope he hears this because I care about him. He cares about me. We disagree on a lot of things, and that's okay. We have very different ways of looking at the world. We were raised very different. We have completely different backgrounds. We're from completely different places with different experiences. I'm excited mostly for that conversation because I think it's what the world needs. Not that it's going to get any kind of attention that it probably should, or I hope it would. It's because he's willing to sit down and have a good faith conversation, which is so refreshing. And I feel like we have the relationship to where we could actually mend tension politically, racially, and come together and show what that looks like. So I'm hoping that that's the outcome, but it's going to center around the world that we want to create for our kids and for our grandkids and how we can unify. Mm-hmm. Like, that's really what I want. That's going to be the whole goal is, hey, we don't agree on some of this stuff. How can we come to an agreement, or how can we come to some mutual understandings and stuff like that? Like, yeah, I'm really excited about that because he's extremely smart. He has aspirations for high political office. And I think he can do a lot of good. And so maybe just, bouncing perspectives off each other, and he's open, he's understanding, he's compassionate, and just encouraged by what that can be. So stay tuned for that, I guess.
That sounds really interesting.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
And, I think if he has the ambition and the drive to be in political office, then I think he's the right guy for it. And that's coming from somebody like we probably on the different ends of the political spectrum. And I still think his heart is in the right place. So I think that's cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of a long tangent to your question, but
yeah.
There's more nuance in life than people realize. Mm-hmm. And we need to get back to that. Yeah. My heart behind the podcast is to be encouraging and to, I'm not here. I don't want to fight anybody. Probably one of the biggest thing I've learned from 74 episodes is all of the different ways that people see things. Demetrius said, there's as many ways to see a thing as there are people to see it.
I said that earlier too.
Did you really?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But see, there's a million ways to say it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that is very true.
Right.
Yeah. What was his thought?
Just that everybody has different takes on everything, and it's all based on their experience and how they perceive things. Yeah. And you don't get to the root of understanding why they see it that way unless you sit down and talk about it. Mm-hmm. And it's what we need more of. It's as polarizing as we get in this country. There's such a need for unity and conversation. And gosh, it's hard to find somebody else with that perspective that's not trying to like gotcha or win an argument. You know, because I think if there's a reasonable baseline there, you could actually probably come to agreement on most of that stuff, which would be way more productive.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yep. If the podcast ended tomorrow, what would be the biggest takeaway?
I think we get so tied into our own experience that we think there's a right way to do everything. And I don't believe that anymore. Yeah. And I think the more that people can start to realize that, it'd be easier to talk to people we disagree with. It would be easier to tone down the temperature. You may have epiphanies in areas of parenting and marriage. There's no right way to lead. You know, it might be different for everybody. Everybody's different. You have different personalities, different experiences.
Make room for that.
Make room for that. Yeah, I think that and meeting people where they're at without judgment. Take time to listen. That'd be the biggest takeaway from the whole podcast. Yeah. Take time to listen. People that you think you know, you maybe don't know as well as you thought. People might be struggling with things that you didn't know they were struggling with, which is kind of an encouraging thing on its own, because it just shows you that even the people who look so put together either struggled mightily at one time through different things or might be struggling right now. Yeah, I think just listen to people.
Well, hopefully people do for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours a week.
We'll see. We'll see where that goes.
Thanks to you. Doing a great job. Thanks for having me. Glad to come here and
and thank you, because like I don't know if this podcast was started without you.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't have, but you're welcome. So you're welcome. No,
yes,
just kidding.
Also you're welcome.
I'm just kidding. No,
I can't thank the guests enough. It's been really great. I can't wait to come in and do the 100th episode.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, 100 episodes.
100 episodes is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
it's gonna be here before we know it.
Yeah,
but people have been so generous with their time, their experience. They've been vulnerable, honest, humble.
Yeah, all
areas of life that I need improvement in.
Yeah.
So, thanks to everybody who's been on.
Don't we all?
Yeah. But thank you for coming. This was really fun. I know you're busy, so.
Yeah, I love making time for it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
We'll catch you on 76. See ya.